Woo, man, this is a really good chapter. This is a really good chapter. I got what I wanted. I wanted to go back to Sarris and Kara and find out exactly what was going on with them, what they were doing, and we got it. So I'm super happy. Now, the ending of this, I was surprised. I was surprised. I didn't think that they would try to take down a Sovereign, another Asura. I did not think so. And so being able to do that, man, that's big, man. That's huge. But I will say this too. I kind of knew it, right? I kind of knew reading this chapter that this was more of a test for Kara. This wasn't really like, oh, I really needed your help. No, she was simply just testing her, is what I got from reading the chapter. Maybe you guys might think a little bit different, but I think that she was just testing her. But yeah, man, this is dope. So let's talk about this chapter. I got a lot of questions. We got a lot of revelations. Got some new information. So this is dope. So Kara finally meets Sarris, and she finally gets confirmation that Arthur isn't from Alakria. And so she thought so for a while now, since him killing Cadell. But she finally got confirmation on that. Now they start to talk about the Wraiths, right? And we find out some interesting information about the Wraiths. Now the Wraiths are half Asura, but they're also half Vitra-blooded Alacrian, right? So not just regular Alacrians, but the Alacrians that have awakened the Vitra blood. So, I mean, I would think that, in order for them to get Vitra-blooded, they're also got reproduced with some of the Asuras as well. So it's like, they're like really close to being full Asuras, probably maybe somewhere around 70-75% Asuras, because they're already half Asura with the Asuras, right? And then so you get another 25% from the Alacrian. So I mean, I would say they're probably somewhere around 70-75% Asura. So they're pretty close to being like the power of an Asura just by themselves. They're not quite there yet, which is why they need a whole team just to be able to take down one of them. But they're extremely powerful. Now, when she's talking to Sarris, she introduces these mana crystals, and the way they describe them is they're like batteries, and so they can just absorb a large quantities of mana. Now, I think that this is possibly going to be used, because she says you also can mass reproduce them if you have the right knowledge and whatnot. So you can reproduce these things. So I'm thinking that maybe they can make some sort of device that will absorb the mana from the Asurans, or maybe the Vritra clan, one of the Sovereigns. Maybe have something that can absorb the mana. Maybe it's like a trap. Maybe if they can get like a bomb. I'm just theorizing right now, right? What if they get like a bomb or something that they can throw, and then it explode and they absorb the surrounding mana? So like, you can make some sort of trap where it detonates, and then they get some of their mana sucked in. So it's a lot of possibilities that they can use this mana stuff with the crystals. And so if Sarris is able to get with Gideon or something like that, or maybe she already has technology to do it, she can make a pretty good weapon that can just absorb mana. So that's really useful. Now, when they were talking about the Wraiths, right? So it seems to me that he has an army of Wraiths, and so they're not just like, oh, a couple. Like, he got a whole army, which now kind of explains how they were able to repel the attack of the Indrath clan. The Indrath attack, how they was able to repel it. I mean, you got an army of Wraiths that a team of them can take out. A team of them can take out an Asura. I mean, man, I want to know, how many does he actually have, though? How many does he actually have? Now, during the conversation, Sarris talks about, she tells Kara about what happened with Arthur. So, with him killing the Wraiths, right? Sent a team of Wraiths down there and they didn't succeed. So this obviously takes place after the events of that. So I'm guessing after Cyrith gets after Cyrith gets Kara, from her family and stuff like that, it probably takes a while before they were able to meet up with Cerys, and so these things all transpired before they were able to meet. So we kind of get like, the timeline of, when this is all taking place. And so during the conversation too, we also get some more insight into Cerys' motivation. So apparently she wants to save Alacria, right? She doesn't have any vested like interest. I mean, she's got a vested interest in Arthur, but like she's not trying to save. And this is as far as we know, and what she's told. Like we still need to learn more. But she's not trying to save Dicathan, right? Dicathan. She's not trying to save them. She wants to save Alacria. And so she's using Arthur because she knows that, they have the same enemy. And so using him and gonna, work together with him to try to, defeat Agrona. And then you got the whole Kessis stuff with the Indras clan. So she's just helping because she wants to save Alacria. Now, here's another question I have, right? So we know now that in order for these wraiths to exist, they have to get an Asura, which is part of the Basilisk clan that came with Agrona. They have to get one of the sovereigns to have a baby with one of the Vritra-blooded Alacrians that's already awakened their Vritra blood, right? So my question is this: does Cerys have any kids that became one of the wraiths? And also I'm wondering, did Agrona have any babies with any of the Alacrians as well? Because we know that a bunch of Basilisk sovereigns that came with him from the Basilisk clan, they came with him, or is it Vritra? Yeah, I think it's the Vritra clan and their Basilisk. That's what it is. We know that a bunch of them came with him. We don't know how many though. I want to know how many actually came with him. How many sovereigns are there? We have Agrona, we have Kiros, I think his name is Kiros, and Orlath. So we got 3 so far. So I want to know how many actually came with him. And then we also find out that, Agrona's kind of getting tired of, just the difficulties in trying to, how would I say, I guess trying to take over Dicathan. So he's thinking about just ending all of it, period, and just gonna just annihilate all of it, which is pretty dangerous because he's not even going to care about the people anymore. He can just come in there and just start slaughtering. So it's getting pretty risky when it comes to that. Now, Cerys talks about how the plan is to keep Agrona's attention in Alacria, right? It's supposed to help Arthur. And so we know at the end of this chapter that Orlath is not dead. Orlath is not dead. So I'm wondering exactly what is her plan like to keep, because like I said, you're able to subdue a sovereign. I shouldn't say kill. You're able to subdue a sovereign. I mean, that's big. So what exactly are her other plans to keep Agrona's attention in Alacria? And like, how is that going to work going forward? Like, is she going to communicate with Arthur at some point, or is she like, how does she even know what even happened there in there? Does she got spies? Does she got people that come back and report to her? How does she even know? But she wants to keep Agrona's attention in Alacria, and so I'm curious to know how she's gonna do that. Maybe she's gonna use Orlath to, like, I don't know, demand some sort of, I don't know. I can't even think. I don't know. Now we get to meet Orlath, right? And this dude is something. He is something, right? So 2 heads. Now, what's really interesting is that it's talked about how the right head isn't natural, right? Like, it was put on like at some other point, right? So it might be like a synthetic head, which I think that has something to do with the fact that she asked Kara to kill or to cut off the left head and kept the right head, because the right head was the one that was like doing all the thinking, the analytical stuff, kind of reading the emotions and stuff like that from Kara and stuff. So the right head, it was like the more dominant, like, calculating head that's able to get the feelings from the other people surrounding it. So I wonder if it has something to do. Maybe Agrona like created the head or something. I'm wondering like how this head even got there and what Sarris is going to actually do with it. Why she kept that head on him and didn't keep the left one. You know, so yeah. So anyway, the two heads is pretty crazy. But then also the ability to draw out someone's like inner emotions, right? And just that ability by itself is pretty crazy, right? Because you can instantly tell exactly what someone's feeling, and someone's hiding something. Their emotions are going to come out, and you're going to be able to know very well. And also like it doesn't involve any sort of mana to do that, because we know with the trap that Sarris had laid out that he needed to use his mana, and then once he used it, it was going to continuously suck in the mana, and it wasn't going to stop until all his mana was gone. Which I'm not sure how that works, as far as like maybe it's just his mana signature that she has, or maybe she has, but I guess he has to touch it. I don't know, because things kind of worked a little bit differently at the end. Like she actually connected him to the system with her blood and her foot, and so it kind of connected that way. It also seemed like it drew her mana too, because her mana was like dying out. You know, Kara had said that it was like, you know, a strong gust of wind, like a candle, could just, you know, blow it out, but she was still standing. So I'm not really quite sure how the whole mana system had worked with trying to, you know, draw it in and suck it out and stuff like that. But so back to Orloth, right? So it seems to me like both of his heads have like a separate consciousness, you know, because the right head had to keep on telling the left head like, wait, you know, this is happening because he was reading Kara's emotions, and he was able to tell that she was thinking about a man. He was able to tell that, you know, she expressed relief when she saw him putting up his hand, and that's why the right head was told the left head like, wait. So they don't have the same consciousness, because he's got to like speak and tell the left head what to do. Not like it's just, you know, he can't just think and be like, oh yeah, he knows what to do, he knows to stop. Like he had to tell him, right? And so that even gives further suggestion that it's some sort of separate consciousness, right? It's not like natural, it's like some sort of synthetic head. So that's also interesting. And so when okay, so let me get to this whole testing of Kara, right? When Sarris first asked Kara, you know, like, you know, your allegiance, who do you have allegiance to? And, you know, if she would help Arthur, even knowing the truth that he's not from here, right? And she's not sure. She doesn't really know. But she ended up, you know, by default saying that, you know, I have, you know, loyalty to you. You know, I have loyalty to Sarris, right? And that's what she's going with. But during this whole emotion bringing up thing, she finally was able to forgive Arthur for lying to her and everything. And so, you know, she was comparing and said she's no different because she lied about who she was originally. And I always thought this too, like, if the Relictums never actually revealed who Kara was, how long would she have gone on with that disguise? And she kind of addressed that too, like how long would she have gone on with it, you know? So she pretty much compared herself, she's like the same as Arthur. So she finally forgives him, which tells me that, yeah, she's willing to support him and have, you know, loyalty towards him now. And at first she wasn't sure. So now she finally has an answer, and so she does that. But so the reason why I think that this was all a big test for Kara is because she could have done this, Sarris could have done this by herself with Cyrus, right? She didn't have to have Kara come along at all. And on top of that, she didn't tell Cyrus what was going on. So she left him in the dark as far as like the machine and what was going to happen, and, you know, with the Sovereign and sucking up the mana. She left all that alone. She only told Kara. And I think it was all part of her plan, right? Her plan was to get the Sovereign to think that, like, oh yeah, he figured out what her plans were, and so that way he didn't know that she had one last trick up her sleeve. And so, but I also think on top of that, on top of like having Orloth think that you know, he figured everything out because Kara, revealed everything because she got relaxed and, you know, had a sigh of relief because he was about to release his mana, and then he said, wait, whatever, right? But I think it was more so to know if Kara would actually be loyal to her and not be loyal to the sovereign, like in the presence of his sovereign. And he demanded, like, compelled her to do what he wanted her to do, right? She compared it to subservience. She compared it to subservience, right? And so she was being drawn to do what he wanted her to do. And she had enough faith in Karen and said that, you know, she's the strongest person that she's ever met. She's not going to be who you want her to be and whatnot. And so it was more so a testing her allegiance and, you know, her ability to just resist the sovereign, right? Because, you know, Cyrith, he already has undying loyalty to Ceres, and now so it's like a test to see where Kara is at, right? And so so she easily could have done this without her. You probably would have, it would have gone a lot easier if she didn't have Kara there to reveal what was going on to make Orlath so suspicious, right? So I think there was more so of a test. And she passed. She passed the test. And so now they are going to declare war. And they're going to declare war. And we're going to see exactly what happens next as far as like keeping Agrona distracted with you know, his attention in Alakria. But man, this is a dope chapter. You know, a lot of revelations. I got, you know, a lot of questions and stuff like that. So this is really dope. I'll give this chapter a 10 out of 10. Like this is a really good chapter. You know, this is exactly what I wanted. And so that's all for me. You know, you guys let me know what you think. Do you think that it was just a test for Kara? Are you with me on that? What do you think that she's gonna do with Orlath's body? Because he's not dead. So what do you think she's gonna do? Is gonna lock him up? You know, try to use the crystals to keep his mana gone, right? Because he can't absorb the ambient mana anymore because he was starting to absorb the mana, but he stopped. And so what are they going to do with the body? Man, I just want to know, like, what do you guys think about the chapter? Do you agree the chapter is fire? Because I thought the chapter was fire. But anyway, let me know in the comment section below. Once again, like the video, guys. Like, I'm on a roll. I don't know if you can see, I'm on a roll, so I can't always get these videos up at the best time because I'll be working and whatnot. But I'm gonna try to get these videos like at least posted on Saturday. So yeah, that's the plan. And yeah, you guys, like, just let me know what y'all think in the comments. I like having a conversation with y'all and talking about things. Y'all let me know about things that I might not remember or I might forget about. And so so I think that's dope. But let me know, you guys. But I hope y'all have a good day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.